Hello my dear students, welcome again in my channel. Let's study with Madam Sir. Students, in our complete series of English grammar, today we are going to read a very important topic, that is figures of speech. Students, what is figure of speech and where we use it? Figure of speech is used in poetry, prose, dramas, plays. And what is it, student? A figure of speech is a departure from ordinary form of expression or the ordinary course of ideas in order to produce a greater effect. So, what is figure of speech? Figure of speech is used to produce to greater effect, and it is used for departure from the ordinary form of expression or the ordinary course of ideas to produce what? To produce greater effect. Means we use figure of speech in poetry to produce greater effect. Now student, in this video lecture we are going to read 10 important figures of speech. So number 1, what is it? Number 1 is simile. So what is simile? Student, comparison between two dissimilar things or person on certain point is called simile. Comparison between two dissimilar things. Dissimilar things means different things or persons. On certain point means on one point or 2 point. Certain point is called what? Simile. Two different things. Comparison between two different things or person on certain point is called simile. So the definition is very simple here. Now student, which word is used in simile? The word used in simile are like, as, show, as, so. These are the words used for introducing a simile. For example, student, the soul was like a star. Here, the soul and star, they are compared. Both are different things. But here, the soul was like a star. Here, the soul and star are compared in one point, that both are shining. Second one, student, second example, her eye as stars of twilight fair. So eyes and as stars of twilight fair. So eyes and fair both are compared here. And why it is comparison is done? How? That the stars, eyes and stars of fair also shining. Like twilight to her dusky hair. So student, like twilights to her dusky hair. Here twilight and hair is dusky hair is compared as like. My heart is like a singing bird. So heart is like a singing bird. Heart is like a singing bird because both are singing. Heart is also singing and bird is also singing. So here heart and bird is compared with the help of the word like. So student, we get here that we are using the word like, as, so, in simile, and they are used for comparison. For example, in first sentence, soul and star is compared, and both are two different things. One is the part of human body and the second is the part of universe. Here again, student, in the second example, I and the twilight stars of twilight fair. Again, I and stars of twilight fair are compared here. So both are different things. I is human part of body and stars again part of universe. Third example, student, heart again the part of body and bird is a bird. Bird is a animal. So here there are two different things, human body and animal, here compared. Why it is compared here, student? Because they are different but they are similar in certain point. So it is what? It is simile. Now student, next one, metaphor. What is metaphor? Students, comparison between two dissimilar things or person on all points. Only the difference here simile in metaphor, that in all points is called. Comparison between two different things or person on all points is called metaphor. For example, he is the star of the family. So student, he is compared how with stars. He is the star of the family. So he is as the star in the family. So the quality of star and he is similar. Second one, the camel is the sheep of the desert. So camel is compared to what? Sheep. So camel and sheep, all the qualities are similar. Now this news is a dagger to my tender heart. So this news is like a dagger. So here this news is as dangerous as dagger. So here all the qualities of this news and dagger is similar. So here student, here in all example two different objects have been compared and the comparison is so complete that the two objects become one and the same. So I hope student that you have understood metaphor very well. So let's come on the next one. Personification. Students, what is personification? Sometimes lifeless things are treated as if they were human beings. This is called personification. Students, personification, lifeless things are treated as if they were human beings. For example, this is called personification. For example, student, death lays his icy hand on kings. So death, is there any hand of death? No. But here death is personified and what is it is written? Death lays his icy hand. So here in this first sentence, death is personified. Second sentence, student, nature might stand up. Can nature stand up? No. But here nature is personified by the poet. And it is written here that nature might stand up and say to the world. Can nature say anything? No. But here nature is personified by the poet. So in the above example, student, nature and death, which are lifeless objects, have been treated as person or living beings. Now number 4, student, apostrophe. What is apostrophe? Sometimes lifeless things are addressed as human being. This is called apostrophe. Apostrophe is a kind of personification, but in personification, student, things are not addressed. Things are not addressed but assumed only. And in apostrophe there is address. So student, come on here, example number 1. Oh death, come soon. So here this is one address. We are addressing what? The poet is addressing death here. That's why it is written here, oh death, come soon. So can death come? No. But here the poet has used the apostrophe, oh death, and first personified and then address death, oh death. So this is what? This is the example of apostrophe. Number 2, student, oh liberty, why are you so dear? So can liberty be dear? No. But here the poet personified and used the apostrophe also, that oh dear. Here addressing what? Oh liberty. So liberty is the use, oh liberty is the use of apostrophe here. So student, here death and liberty have been addressed by name as living beings are addressed, and that's why here this is the use of apostrophe. Now number 5, student, climax. What is climax? Climax is the Greek word meaning a ladder. So as in ladder, so in climax. What is same in climax and ladder? The sense rise step by step, more and more important. Means it goes in ascending order of the importance. The different ideas are arranged in ascending order of the importance. Means low to high. For example, student, example number 1. First he was abused, then beaten and then killed. So here abuse is less important, then more important beaten, and the most important killed. Now next example, she sobs, groans and cries. So here sobs, less important, groans more important, and cries most important. Now, I came, I saw, I conquered. So, came less important, more, saw more important, and conquered the most important. So, student, these are here, the ideas are written how in ascending order it is written, in the ascending order of importance, and that's why here this is the use of climax. Number 6, oxymoron. In student, what is oxymoron? In figure of speech, two terms which are opposite in meaning are placed side by side. They are placed together. They form one lovely phrase. This is what? This is oxymoron. For example, student, example number 1, a noiseless noise among the leaves. The poet has used the word, the sentence here, what? Noiseless noise. So noiseless noise, it's the opposite word, and they are written together. That's why this is the use of oxymoron. Second one, student, and all odds, aching joys are no more. So here student, aching means paining and joys. So aching, joys, both are different thing. Aching means paining and joys means joys, happiness. So student, here there are two opposite words written together, and that's why both the examples are noiseless noise and aching joys. Both the examples are here example of oxymoron. Now number 7, student, metonymy. What is metonymy? Students, it means name change. Metonymy means name change. Metonymy is the use of an attribute. What is attribute, students? What is attribute? Attribute means quality. Attribute means quality. For the thing, quality of the thing. This attribute suggests the thing associated with it. So metonymy is the use of attribute for the thing. This attribute suggests the thing associated with it, connected with it, related with it. For example, for crown we use, for king we use crown, for writer we use pen, for money we use purse. So here student, this is the quality related to the word. Now for example, the pen is mightier than, the pen is mightier, the pen is mightier than the sword. So here pen stand for what, student? Pen stand for writer. Pen indicating all the writer, and sword indicates the soldiers. So here pen is mightier than the sword. This is the example of what? Metonymy. Because here the pen is the quality of the writer and sword is the quality of the soldier. Now number 8, student, synecdoche. So what is synecdoche? The mention of a part of a thing for the whole and whole for the part. When in the poem or in prose, the mention of a part of a thing for the whole and whole for a part is called synecdoche. For example, student, he can no longer earn his bread. So bread indicate what? All the necessaries. Means here bread is used for a thing for whole. A thing for whole. Means whole means here necessity, necessaries, and bread is used for a thing for whole. Now number 2 example, 5 more hands are needed. So what is hand? What stand for hand? Man. So here student, hands is used for man here. So what is the use here? Again it is the part of a whole. For man, here there is the use of hands. So what is this, student? This is the use of synecdoche. Now number 9, student, what is repetition? Repetition. Sometimes the key word or the important word in a sentence is repeated. It tries to create a powerful. Why it is repeated? Because it tries to create a powerful meaning. And what is this? It is repetition. Sometimes the key word in a sentence is repeated and it creates a sense of powerful effect. For example, student, oh, dark, 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 amid the blaze of moon. So here there are 3 times repetition of dark. And why dark is repeated here? For making a powerful effect. Number 2, alone, alone, all alone, alone on a wide, wide sea. So here student, alone, 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 again alone. In the second line also it is repeated. Why it is repeated? Because the poet wanted to make it powerful. Wide, wide sea. So here wide, wide is used here to make it powerful. So student, we have got here that repetition is the repetition of same word in a sentence to make a powerful effect. Now number 10, students, what is number 10? Alliteration. What is alliteration? The use of words beginning with or containing the same consonant sound. Beginning with or containing the same consonant sound is called alliteration. For example, after life's fitful fear, fitful fear. Here there is the sound of what? F. F sound is repeated here. So it is the use of alliteration. After life's fitful fear, he sleeps well. So here fitful fear is what? Is the repetition. Sorry, it is the repetition of F sound and that's why it is alliteration. Now next one student, in a summer season when soft was the sun. So here there are 4 words: summer, season, soft and sun. Here there are the repetition of S sound. So this is consonant sound and that's why this is the example of alliteration. So student, I hope you have understood the 10 figure of speech in this video lecture. I will come with another 10 figure of speech in the next video lecture student. So thanks for watching the video. Like my channel, subscribe it and share it with your friends and relatives. Thank you once again.